I try my best to avoid mentioning Mr. George. Because every time you bring him up, people are like, oh my god, conspiracy theory. Every good conspiracy theory starts with the word George. And a conspiracy theory is misinformation. And if it's misinformation, we have to ban it. And meanwhile, Mr. George is a rich person who is funding and promoting the concept of removing misinformation. A concept which didn't even exist 10 years ago. I mean, it was unthinkable for a modern democracy, especially a nation that values liberty and freedom, to try and control what people talk to one another. This is only what fascist states did, what the Soviet Union, what Nazi Germany with their Ministry of Propaganda or Ministries of Truth to make sure that the information is controlled so that no lies are being spread. And the people who get to control what information is being spread and the fact checkers, they have a lot of power. And all people can be corrupt. The idea that the fact checkers can't be corrupt is astonishing. I mean, everyone knows that politicians can be corrupt. Everyone knows that police officers can be corrupt. But no, not the fact checkers. No, they're pure. They come from God. So it's Mr. George, it's Clinton and Obama. Not just their staffers. I mean, I seen them tweet on the Twitter saying that, oh my God, well, if we allow people to talk freely, that is a danger to our democracy. Well, maybe you need a great reset for your democracy. How about that? Because if you need to control how people talk to one another in order for your democracy to, maybe you need a great reset for your democracy. European governments as well are behind the anti-mask campaign to force big corporations to boycott Twitter after Elon demanded to know who funds these organizations. Yes, he actually tweeted that. There's a lot of tweets coming from him. Every now and then I get like a person on my comment section asking me like, why am I simping for Musk? Like, dude, I'm not giving him money. I'm not doing anything out of the ordinary. But when I see a person throwing red pills and explaining stuff to average people that normally they wouldn't get to hear about it, that's a good thing. Yes, that's a good thing that the overtone window is being moved more to the right. Why aren't you simping for Elon Musk then? And not to mention, like, he's so fucking relatable. I mean, this is the richest man on earth, right? And he goes to the gala dressed like a normal human being, because I've seen how other people dressed at that event. No, he literally just dresses like a normal human being, can get any woman he wants, and brings his mother. Like, look, I'm sorry, he won my heart. What can I say? Big fan now. Big, muy grande. Elon Musk, muy grande fan. So, some of the most high-profile liberal figures. I just want you to know that the same people that are thinking that men can get pregnant and would ban you if you disagree are the same people concerned about disinformation. And the solution to fight against disinformation is not to educate the public on becoming fact checkers themselves, because there must be a way, right? I mean, if random people can become fact checkers, why can't everyone else become a fact checker? So instead of like empowering the public to be able to tell fact from fiction, a very useful skill that you can apply when buying a house, for example, or a car. No, the solution is to have a couple of anointed ones that get to dictate what is fact and what is fiction. And the interesting part is that they're not upset that the left is going to be suppressed on Twitter, or that the left is going to be banned on Twitter, which would be a poetic justice if you ask me. No, they're upset because they're not going to be able to ban their opponents. Their ideology at this point is so fragile, so delicate, that any type of free thinking is going to destroy them. I mean, again, they believe that men can get pregnant. Like in the UK, they were teaching med students how to give birth through the penis. All it takes is 5 minutes of laughter, and you've completely dismantled that horseshit. So that's why they need censorship, right? Like, anyone that laughs gets to be banned. I mean, we see what happens with Dave Chappelle when he makes jokes, right? Like, comedians are getting attacked on stage in order to prevent the harmful misinformation, I suppose. And even then, like, yesterday, there was a publication telling people about getting horse pills in order to get abortions. And I'm thinking, wasn't there like some other horse medicine that was criticized by CNN? What was it? It was just a couple of months ago, and that was like a big public danger. And everyone that even mentioned it, like Joe Rogan got into big problems for mentioning it, right? But now, for some reason, when they offer a different type of horse medication for a different type of pathological illness, I guess, at least that's how they would consider it, no one bans it, no one criticizes it, no one freaks out. It's perfectly fine. Okay. You just have to ask questions like, where is the consistency is what I'm trying to say. Why is there no consistency when it comes to the fact checkers? It's not just how they are fact checking and whether they get it right or not, but like, why are they fact checking everything? What is getting fact checked is also another question. So Musk has pledged to lift the censorship of Twitter. Critics worry that he will give free rein to those trafficking in hate speech and dangerous scientific theories. Elon Musk has said something that makes a lot of sense. And I'll probably make another video to talk about what Elon Musk believes by free speech. But he said that, look, if society is so worried about hate speech and dangerous scientific theories, why don't you make it into laws? And you might say, well, yeah, but like the Constitution forces the government for free speech. Change the Constitution. Oh, you can't change the Constitution. Why? Because most people don't want it changed. So what's the problem then? You actually do hate democracy, right? That is the issue. They cannot, like, the only time they like democracy is when they're winning. And they find legal loopholes in order to launder the censorship, right? Because now all the conversation has moved online. And because all of the conversation is online, now they can force private companies in order to censor. And you can see who they are. Okay? It's the Clinton and Obama staffers, George, European governments. Okay? Like, this is who the people are that enjoy the current system where people aren't allowed to talk freely. Imagine, again, in 20 years ago, if the same arguments were made by George Bush and everyone would have to get a wiretap on their phone. Everyone would have to have their private correspondence looked into. Like, if you want to send a package to your mama, the postal office has to open your package and look into it to see if there's any hate speech or misinformation. Musk will further toxify our information ecosystem. Do you understand what this means? This means that the average citizen is toxic. Okay? If you allow the average citizen to talk to one another, this is toxic. Twitter risks becoming a cesspool of misinformation with your brand attached. So like CNN, basically. You remember, wasn't it like just a couple of months ago that the U.S. government admitted, the U.S. intelligence agencies admitted that the Syrian gas attack didn't rely on much evidence, so it was very flimsy? Yeah. So Elon Musk says that sunlight is the best disinfectant. You know, I want them to have this very interesting ministry of truth. I want them to go after Twitter as hard as they can. You know why? Because when the Republicans get in power, and eventually they will get in power, I want them to use these machinations against the left. I want them to use the weapons that they created, the ring of power that they created against them. Not because of some moral grandiose thing. No. It would be just cathartic. That's literally it. You know, like, the reason you have principles is to defend yourself from things you don't like. So, for example, the reason I care about private property is because I have private property. And I wouldn't want someone to violate my private property. Okay? And I have it as a principle not to defend your private property. That is just a byproduct. No, it's to defend mine. So I say, yes, private property should be sacred, so that if someone violates yours, then I would be outraged. But if someone violates mine, you need to be outraged, right? Because that's how it works. But if I were to see every time someone comes onto my property, all the neighbors are laughing and they are cheering, what do you think will happen when I see someone go on my neighbor's property in that situation? I will be laughing and cheering as well. Because that's how it works. The way you treat other people is the way you're eventually going to be treated. This is emotional shit. It's not even logical or anything like that. No, it's just like, This is how humans act. The way you treat others, expect to be treated in return. So if you want to silence and censor others in order to push your ideology, which cannot stand to scrutiny, don't be shocked and surprised when other people do it to you and they will have absolutely no mercy about it. I mean, the whole Roe v. Wade thing that's happening right now. You guys started with my body, my choice. And everyone agreed, right? Because it's like my body, my choice. But the moment you started simping for mandates, the moment you started advocating on why people need to show QR codes, all of that went out the window. And don't expect sympathy now from people who, when you're going like, well, my body, my choice. Like, no, but you don't believe that. You don't believe that, so shut up, sit down. That's pretty much the environment that you have created. And eventually the pendulum does swing. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, please consider giving it a super thanks. And I will see you all on my live stream. Take care.